Hello, my friends. I was going to try to use my Kindle Fire to do this because, it's got a camera, but I don't think it works. Like, I couldn't get it to, because it uses a Silk browser and I have to use Chrome to do this. I don't know if anyone else has the same problems. But hello, friends. I'm here and I'm telling you, if you're famous, you can do anything wrong right now because no one cares about you. They're still talking about the royal wedding. Man, they're still talking. So if you're famous, or if you're not famous, well, if you're famous, only do bad stuff when something huge is going on. Is this like the last person getting married? Dang. Because there are only the two boys, I think. I did write some stuff down. Oh, I was working on my website, and I'll give you a piece of advice, or my advisor tried to teach me things, but I can't understand what she says a lot or what she means because she uses words that I don't understand. And I feel like if you're going to use words I don't understand, I don't care. I can't give you examples for her, but I was watching Sherlock today, I was watching Elementary today, and sorry, I'm stuttering all over the place. I do that. I was watching Elementary, and they're looking for a suspect who favors their left leg, and I have no clue what that means. I have no clue. So I don't even care because I'm like, it's part of the plot. I guess it means something, but I don't really care. So they favor their left leg. The only thing I can come close to favoring their left leg is that they use it more somehow. I don't know how that even works. How do you use one leg more than the other? I don't know. I had to go look it up, and they explained it different ways, and they said what they mean is that they're limping. They're limping on their left leg, or their left leg is limping because it's injured. And it comes from when you favor something, you treat it gently or you take care of it more. So if a leg is injured, you don't want to injure it more, and so you take care of it more and don't use it as much. So I learned that today because I didn't know, but that's how I am. I mean, if you're going to use things that I don't understand, I'm probably not going to ask anything. I'm just going to go, okay, sure, whatever. And if you don't say, you don't know what I'm talking about, do you? I'll probably just ignore it and just move on. What she was trying to explain, I think, is that when in software design, software engineering, software development, um, it's you have to put to paper the ideas. And so in software engineering, what we do is we create stories to explain what a game should do or what a product should do or anything, an application, a website. But you have to also explain who the subjects are so that everyone knows, who the stakeholders are, who the users are, But so I was working on that today, just trying to see what's done on the project and what isn't done. Now, I didn't do this during the project because I was working with someone and he didn't want to do anything. He only wanted to, at the end, go up on stage and talk about the project. And I'm like, that's not how this works. I don't do all the work and then you take all the credit. We should work together. But he wouldn't do that. He didn't want to work on the design. He didn't work on the implementation. He didn't want to work on the testing. He didn't want to work. He said documentation, that is the stupidest thing I ever heard. And I'm like, no, documentation is one of the most important things. And he would fight me on these things. And I'm like, you're killing me here. Because the way I do it is I document as I go. So when I go back, I know what's going on. But he just fought me this entire project. Tip, you can't work with everyone. Some people don't work well together, and you have to cut your losses. Teachers need to learn this, that some people don't work well together. I have an English class that I need to work with a team. Oh, God. It's going to be a terrible team. But one example of these web stories would be user creates a new user, enters all the information incorrectly, and then what would happen is, let's see. So they create the user, enters all fields correctly. Then let's say application takes them to, I know them is not the proper English, but guess what? English, fuck it today. Fuck it nowadays. We don't care about English anymore. It's all about gender equality, and there's 162 different genders, I heard. I don't know what that means, but that's just the number I was told. Application takes them to main page. Oh, but before that, application saves their info into the database. And then application takes them to the main page. No problems. Now this should be done. But that's all you're doing is you're setting up, you're telling a story, a short story, a couple sentences. And so what they do, what the program does, any outcomes, and then if it's done or not done. And you do this with all the processes going on. That's the way you're supposed to do it, I think. That's not the way we did it. So what happens is that if you do it this way, then your customer knows what's going on. It's like, hey, how about that one story? Is that done? How's about the other story? Is that done? You know, or I didn't really understand that story. Well, hopefully, if you have the story written down, you both know what is supposed to happen. So if he goes, well, this is doing the wrong thing, you can say, hey, right here, we agree that it should do this. So that's my schooling. That was my teacher tried to teach me that, I think, but she does it really poorly. She doesn't explain herself a lot of times. And in computer class, nobody asks questions. Nobody. Let's go to my other writings. I wrote a little bit today. Okay, so I was talking about, I like watching Vudu. That's it, right? Vudu. I got it on my TV, and they don't sponsor me. I don't think they could because I don't pay for it. I just watch free movies with the ads. The ads are so funny because the ads are either ads for Vudu to watch more Vudu, or they play the same ad over and over again. So if you're watching a movie, you can see the same ad like 4 or 5 times. You're like, I don't know what they're doing. I didn't like it the first time. I don't like it this time. But I watch it. I sit here and just watch it. They're still talking about that dang wedding. I mean, there's like no news going on. Man, if some celebrity doesn't get into trouble, they're going to talk about this wedding forever. Okay. So I go through the new movies when I go onto Vudu on my TV, and they will shove in ones you have to pay for, which I don't really understand. Like they'll put in like a season 1 of something. Yeah, you have to pay for it. I'm like, well, if you have like 7 seasons of something, get them in for the first season for free, and then make them pay for the other 6. But they don't do that. But so you learn how to ignore them because some of them have a tab on it that says free with ads, and the other ones are blank. So Vudu has ratings for the movies. You'll see like a 1/2 star to 5 stars in white, and that's the ratings that the Vudu community gives it. I was wondering, does the SJWs patrol this community? I don't know. I just wonder. So sometimes I'll see a movie that I think that looks like a really good movie. Case in point, this was Night Stalker. I'm like, Night Stalker? Wasn't that the guy that was just caught recently? I have to watch it. But then I'm looking at it and I see that there is a 1/2 of a blue star. I said Vudu community gives white stars. Blue stars are the ones that you've given the movie. That means I've watched this movie and I've rated Stupor, I forgot about it. And when you rate it, you have to watch the whole movie to the end, to the credits, and then it'll let you rate it. So if there's been so many movies I'll watch and I'll stop and I can't even rate it because you have to rate to the end of the movie. I'm like, no, there's no way. That for some reason. So Night Stalker is really, really bad, but I was able to finish it. I was watching, what was it? The Curse of the Zodiac, which was supposed to be about the Zodiac came back and he's killing people again, but he was calling people on the phone. I'm like, he never did that. I mean, I think maybe once he might have, but he mainly wrote letters. Why don't you just have the guy write letters and while he's writing it, you can just have the director who was doing the voice of the Zodiac, he can narrate from the letters. But he couldn't do that. And the whole movie was a mess. I mean, they did like side by side movies, like someone's on the phone. Like, who does that anymore? It wasn't good then. It's not good now. Stop it. That's what I was talking about. So if you get a chance, Voodoo is still free. And I have an account there that oh, I wonder if it's my no, it's not. It's what I have a lot of email addresses. So it's one of my aliases. I was wondering today, could drunk people be responsible for their actions? Or they would oh, I don't know if I could do that. Maybe next time I'll try to put my teleprompter over here so I can look at the screen. I don't know how I could do that. We'll worry about that later. So I'm wondering, can drunk people be responsible for their actions? I heard that a female can claim rape if she is drunk when it happens. But can a man also claim rape if he's drunk too? I don't know. So there was this guy in the news. He was drunk and driving, and he hit a car, then drove away. Then he hit another car, and he killed a person. Then immediately hits another car and kills two more people. Was he responsible for his actions? But what if I told you that he has a criminal history dating back to the 80s? I don't know. Then I said, I was thinking, I wish TV chefs had to tell if they prepped all their recipes themselves or if they had interns to do it. Because I swear, I bet you Rachel Ray has interns to do all of her cooking for her. So I bet you she does. She just seems like the person who just uses interns, doesn't even thank them. One day, I want to remove, I saw this on YouTube. I want to remove the rib cage of a chicken and try to bake it flat. Now, I think I can buy a whole chicken for about $5. So if I waste it, I'm just wasting $5. But memo to self, I got to do that sober. Then I was watching Cook Country today, but it was the female version of it. And I don't like the female version of it. I don't know if I told you before, but I just don't feel like I'm invited to watch it anymore. It's these two women, and all they do is they talk over each other. Oh, this is how we do it. Oh, this is how we do it. Oh, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. I was like, shut up. Well, you have there was this TV show. I need to look it up, but it was this there was this woman host, and she would invite celebrity chefs or famous chefs around, and they were on stage. There was an audience, and she was the host. This thing is delayed right now, so it's kind of messing me up. So she would get like these famous people. Some of them I saw, I knew of, but some of them I didn't know. And she pretended like she knew nothing. I looked her up. She's like a really, really famous chef, really, really talented, and she knows her stuff, but she's playing dumb because she's trying to invite us into it at any skill level. So she's asking questions that she already knows the answer to, but she's explaining it because she's trying to help us be engaged. Unfortunately, Cook's Country now, I think Cook's Country and the Test Kitchen, they don't engage the audience anymore. Chris, whatever his name was, Chris Kimball, he engaged the audience. I mean, when he was on, like I felt like he might know how to cook, but he doesn't really care because he cares more that if we know how to cook. And I don't know how to cook. I have very so he would only explain the scientific stuff. He wouldn't explain the cooking stuff. He would have the chef explain the cooking stuff. It was really cool, and I think I know why they did it because we need a change, and change is good, and everything's for change. I don't get it, but where was I? Oh, so I was watching Cook Country. Where do you get this? Oh, I cracked myself. Oh. I was watching Cook Country and I saw that Blue Apron sponsors Cook Country. But does that mean that Cook Country has a part in designing their recipes? I bet you that Blue Apron is hoping that people think that. Because, and to me, that they clash. Blue Apron is kind of like you pay us to learn how to cook, and Cook's Country is like, we'll just show you how to cook. At least they say that, but I've gone to their website so many times, I cannot find a single recipe on that dang thing. Which reminds me, I need to make some pizza dough soon. Maybe I should stop buying pizza. Sorry. I have to go shopping tomorrow. I have to get my license on Monday. Hmm, we'll see. I did most of my chores. I still have some dishes soaking in the kitchen. What else? Oh, this is it. So my point is, when I drink, I'm not the same person. I'm happy. I don't worry about things. I don't care. Weird things. I don't like to drink milk when I'm drunk. I love drinking milk. I would drink milk right now, but if I do, midnight would come up and knock over my glass. So I have to drink it in the kitchen and leave it in the kitchen. But then I forget about it and it gets warm and I don't like warm milk. Maybe I should drink it and then put it back in the refrigerator. It's a good idea. Thank you. Okay, do 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 do. And I love to eat pizza when I'm drunk. I don't really love to eat pizza. I mean, I love making my own pizza, but I hate sandwiches. For some reason, I don't like making sandwiches when I'm drunk. I don't like eating sandwiches. I want nothing to do with sandwiches when I'm drunk. And I don't get it because they're really easy to make. I don't get it. And I forget how to cook. I forget everything. It's crazy. Oh. So how can someone be responsible for their actions if they become a different person? And don't say that being drunk makes you more of what you really are. Let's see. I pointed out if you keep on saying the same thing over and over again, it doesn't make it true. So that's a form of gaslighting and it doesn't work. And if it worked on you, I'm sorry. It was wrong. No one should tell you the same thing over and over again until you finally say, yes, okay, you're right. I mean, they did it with what you call it, global warming. They did it with I don't know. They they did it with the war in Iraq. They told us over and over again, weapons of mass destruction, man, weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction. And what? No weapons of mass destruction. So if someone's telling you the same thing over and over again, just say, please stop gaslighting me. If they don't know what you're talking about, just punch them in the face. I heard today that someone went up to Alfonso Roberto and said, "Oh my God, you're Carlton," and then punched him in the face. Alfonso's like, "Why'd you do that?" He goes, "I didn't know what else to do. I panicked." This is, they say it's a true story. I don't know if it's true. I saw it on YouTube on someone else's channel. Okay, let's say. So if my point is, if being drunk makes you more of what you are, okay, how come I can remember things now? How come I can cook now if I want to cook? I can make a sandwich now if I want to. But when I'm drunk, can't make a sandwich. I can't cook. I burn everything and I forget everything. And don't say, well, you remember and you forget things when you're sober. So you're just more of something. No, I remember most things. I think people would mainly say that I remember most things. I don't have dementia yet that I know of. But then again, how would I know if I don't know. But I think you really shouldn't be allowed to drink unless you're with friends. In fact, I think if you're found guilty of drinking and driving, the judge should order you to hang out with more people. That would stop it. That would free up the jails and it would get people working again. Because guess what? There's nothing like working and then drinking with your friends. But I also heard that employment is at an all-time low. That there's more jobs now than people who want to work. Man, I really need to get a job soon. Too bad I'm dirty, so I have to wait some time for that. I also heard that we're in the lowest birth rate in 30 years. I don't know if that's globally or just in the United States. That's strange because they say that we're going to go to a population and then we're going to drop down. In fact, they say we've already been there, but I don't know if that's world or if that's the United States. No, it's got to be the world because they said Japan is having like 1.2 kids, so their their children won't be able to sustain the elderly people. That's what happened in China when they said the 2 kids maximum. Sorry, this is messing me up because I'm delayed. But when China had the 2 kid maximum, they totally destroyed their now the elderly people aren't being taken care of. They don't talk about it in the news because they don't want to. But man, it's not a good time there. Not a good time. So now they're trying to encourage people to have more kids. I mean, there's ways to do population control. One of them is not a max number of kids. In fact, I mean, one thing, if you wanted to really control the population, it's scary and it's mean and it's angry. You'd say you can't have a kid before a certain age. Because what happens is women can have kids when they're, well, they can have them when they're young. But let's say they have them when they're 16, and then their kid has 16, and then their kid was 16. You're shortening the generation, so you're adding more people every single time. If you can just stretch out that time, it doesn't matter how many kids they have. Just say, listen, don't have kids until you're 20 or 25. 25. Wait till you're 25. Stop having kids when you're in your teens. That could really help. Plus, you know, you should spend that time developing yourself before you start trying to develop another human being. But I know that's mean and genderist and sexist and racist and all isses there are. But I don't know. It's just my 2 cents. I'm gonna steal this from what's his name? Philip DeFranco. That's just my 2 cents. I care what are your 2 cents. So please leave them in the comments. I will read them, maybe even respond because no one's watching this anyway. So peace and love. I'm out of here. And they're still, ET just is doing this huge block. I think they've been doing this for an hour. I could have been watching Wonder Woman and the sexy Wonder Woman. I don't care what you say. You can take your Gia and whatever, but Linda Carter will always be the Wonder Woman. Yeah, yeah, she will be. All right, that is it. I've been trying to get back to this thing. Does it look more like a bear? I hope so. Looks like he's crossing his legs, like he has to pee. Is that right? Let me see this. Yeah, it looks a little like he's crossing his legs, like he has to pee or something. Do Care Bears pee? Do they eat? I don't know. I'm so confused now. But it looks like he has to pee and he's holding it so he doesn't have an accident. It's weird. All right. Well, I hope you all have a good night. Yeah, because this is live. Deuces.